In this WrestleTalk news, a dream signing to AEW. Bron Breakker wins the NXT title, the latest new original plans for day one, and more. Yep, you heard that correctly. Bron Breakker is your NXT champion finally, putting the original NXT to rest. The best way to show your love for NXT 1.0 is by clicking the button beneath this video. I know it looks a lot like a subscribe button, but that's just because you haven't updated your YouTube app yet. It's actually a thank you NXT 1.0 button. So you better press it. Otherwise you hate wrestling.
Support WrestleTalk!
Since August, AEW has seen the debuts of CM Punk, Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson, Minoru Suzuki, Ruby Soho, Bobby Fish, Jay Lethal, Tony Nese, Kyle O'Reilly, and Mercedes Martinez. Is that the best you can do, Tony Khan? I need more stimulation. More! The AEW president has teased just that in an interview with John Martinez of Z100, where he was asked if there are any more dream signings coming to AEW and specifically whether they're North American, to which Khan replied, "There is. They are in North America and they're coming, and pretty soon, and it's going to be awesome. I'm very excited." I mean, there's one free agent formerly known as Dream. I'm pretty confident it ain't that one though. This echoes Khan's interview teases shortly before O'Reilly debuted last month, where he hinted that wouldn't be the end of AEW's big name signings, with the first episode of Dynamite on its new network of TBS tonight, along with the Battle of the Belt special on Saturday. Both shows are already loaded up with matches like Danielson vs Wangman 2 and Cody Rhodes vs Sammy Guevara, but perhaps Khan has saved a big debut for this week too. The biggest available free agent names right now would be the former Bray Wyatt, who's now called Wyndham Rotunda, and Johnny Gargano. Rotunda was heavily reported to debut for either AEW or Impact in September and October, but the Wrestling Observer newsletter most recently wrote, "The last we heard was that he had the movie gig and didn't want to come back so soon. At one point, he was apart on money from both promotions." Wyatt has been shooting a horror movie with his Firefly Funhouse design collaborator Jason Baker, described as Itchy the Killer meets Xanadu, but that's supposedly wrapped late last year, potentially freeing up Wyatt for a wrestling return. New year, new Fiend. Gargano, meanwhile, has been publicly flirting with a wrestling return on his Twitch channel, saying if the fans chant his name enough, he'll show up. Who do you think is AEW's dream debut? Let me know in the comments down below, where I'll be replying to as many people as I can for the first 30 minutes after this video goes live. From out of nowhere, saying, you know, it's a bit weird we haven't seen much of Shane McMahon and Triple H recently. I'm just asking questions. When commenting your own suggestions, remember that Rotunda and Gargano are available to debut anywhere right now. A lot of the other recent WWE releases, like Karrion Kross, Keith Lee, and Jeff Hardy, are still waiting out their 90-day non-compete clauses until at least February. It could have been a very different story. It could have been Jeff Hardy to NXT confirmed. Thanks for your support on Patreon, Mad Mac the Meat Father, and the Kessel Run DX Solo. You can get your own shout out by going to patreon.com/WrestleTalk. After Jeff Hardy became NXT champion last July when he beat Karrion Kross on his main roster debut in 2 minutes, think of your happy place, Ollie, your happy place. Adam Cole's smile, I'm in Adam Cole's smile. Fightful Select has now reported Hardy was actually meant for a brief run in NXT 2.0. Back in November, NXT Tag Team Champions MSK got a series of vignettes where they were on a journey to visit a mysterious shaman. Wrestling! At the start of December, this was revealed to be current Raw Tag Team Champion Matt Riddle, because wink wink, nudge nudge, marijuana. But apparently Riddle wasn't meant to be the original reveal on the 7th of December episode. It was meant to be Jeff Hardy. NXT had even filmed numerous segments for his debut, but due to Hardy's erratic behavior at the house show the previous weekend, WWE had to scramble for a replacement and reshot all the skits. Hardy was released 2 days after that episode aired on the 9th. But there is one other ratings-moving name that AEW could snap up immediately, and Andrade's gonna keep on teasing it whether Twitter wants it or not. Following Andrade starting a feud with Darby Allin and Sting on last Friday's Rampage, El Idolo has tweeted, "Hello kid Darby Allin, nice to meet you, Sir Sting. Remember, I have many friends in the business, but just one father-in-law. Hashtag the man, hashtag El Idolo, tagging in Ric Flair with a photo of him and Rick shaking hands at AAA last year. Father-in-law. Unfortunately appropriate typo. A tweet that was greeted with exciting wrestling fan replies like, "Please God no, that's not the brag you think it is in 2022, and after watching that Dark Side of the Ring episode about the plane ride from hell, I'd rather not." That episode aired last August and included allegations that Flair had sexually assaulted a female flight attendant in 2002, allegations that Flair himself has denied. Showing how beloved Flair is though, and Twitter's typical level of nuance, it was Tommy Dreamer that got cancelled for that. Flair seems set for an AEW debut imminently, with him also being teased on being the Elite, but there's been no sign of him in the 6 months since that episode aired. AEW is at a fascinating point in its trajectory right now. Almost 3 years old, with all the attention that debuts of Punk and Danielson bring, it's experiencing issues that can no longer be dismissed as just wrestling fan tribalism. Occasionally you can see AEW critical signs in the audience, asking for more TV time for the women. And after AEW chose not to re-sign Big Swole after her contract expired, she accused the company over the weekend for a lack of representation of the black community. Powerhouse Hobbs and Leo Rush have since posted statements in AEW's defense. Cynically, bringing Flair in right now to feud with Sting, as much as Cody and Tony want to play with their favorite WCW toys, might be a backlash headache not worth having. But there's already been a big WWE to AEW move behind the scenes, because COVID-19 to AEW confirmed. Matt Jackson and Brandon Cutler have reportedly tested positive for COVID-19, and since they've spent a lot of time with fellow young buck Nick Jackson, all three men will miss this week's huge selection of AEW shows, potentially forcing a rewrite of the promotion's big Adam Cole on a pole storyline. The Bucks announced Matt's positive result in the only way they know how, other than by releasing a t-shirt, by changing their Twitter bio to read, "Loyal to a fault, but sometimes have to make executive decisions. Always book ourselves strong. Our future grandkids are set for life. Matt has COVID." Omicron is leaping between brands like Paul Heyman as its manager, as COVID also significantly disrupted WWE's Day 1 plans last Saturday. Roman Reigns was pulled from the show because of a positive result, meaning his original opponent, Brock Lesnar, was added to the WWE Championship match, which he won. Initial reports said Big E was meant to retain his title at the pay-per-view, premium live event. But now Dave Meltzer has written on Sports Illustrated that it was actually meant to be Seth Rollins. But while he didn't get a title reign, he has got a new name, as WWE have now officially rebranded him as Kingslayer. Seth Rollins. Calm yourself, 2017 reference. It's actually been updated to Seth frickin' Rollins. And he isn't the only thing to finish installing its update, as Bron Breakker literally kicked the old NXT logo in two during his entrance at New Year's Evil last night to beat Tommaso Ciampa and become the new NXT champion. Triple H is going to be very confused when he comes back. Triple H to AEW confirmed. Bron's dad, Rick Steiner, could be seen celebrating with him as the show went off air. But that wasn't the only big title change in wrestling yesterday, because Kazuchika Okada beat Shingo Takagi for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship in 35 minutes in what our editor Rich told me was a 7-star match. Okada will go on to defend against Will Ospreay in Night 2 like right now. It's probably happening as you're watching this. It's not just wrestlers from his own promotion Okada has to be wary of though. After saying he'd love to fight CM Punk and Bryan Danielson in an interview, Punk has replied on Twitter, "Here's my address, come see me. 1901 West Madison Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60612, United States, Okada." Oh my god, Punk just doxed himself. "I'm coming, Punk, I'll bring the pizza. We're gonna be best friends." It's the address of the United Center. I shall take comfort in the incredible continuing story of Katsuyori Shibata. New Japan bases itself on the principle of lion's pride, that you never quit. And while that's a very psychologically unhealthy way to live your life, hot damn does it make for some emotionally stirring comebacks. After being told he'd never wrestle again, nearly dying after a head injury in 2017, Shibata has had his first official match back at yesterday's WrestleKingdom, wrestling his student Ren Narita. There was meant to be no striking given Shibata's near-death experience, but he apparently went into business for himself and did strikes anyway. New Japan's president tweeted afterwards, "There is no way New Japan will give him a punishment. The social significance of New Japan is to energize people through our battle."
Major Royal Rumble plans may have been leaked, Big E wants a heel turn, Ollie's review of last night's episode of Raw, and more. At WWE's inaugural Day 1 event, Brock Lesnar entered the Fatal 4-Way that was previously a triple threat that was previously a singles match to make it a fatal 5-way and ended up winning the WWE Championship.